Hey, what's going on, fiends? So, Amazon has just been giving us good all week. First, Scott Snyder's Witches is getting an animated series. Now, they're saying that they are going to give us a Spider-Man Noir live-action series. Now, Spider-Man Noir, you may be familiar with, you may not be. It's okay. He's more of the adult version of the Spider-Man character. Darker, grittier, has no problem with offing people. He was created in 2009 during the Marvel Noir event, where they took a lot of the characters and set them into like Prohibition era 1930s New York City. So you had like the X-Men, Tony Stark, Luke Cage, Spider-Man, so on and so forth. His character stayed pretty much the same as the one that we've known and loved. Like I said before, the only difference is he's darker. He's not for kids. Everything about the story of the character is just dark. Of course, there's the story how his Uncle Ben passes away. But then Ben Urich is his mentor in the story, and Ben Urich, you may know from the Daredevil show, movie with Ben Affleck, or the comic books. Well, then he ends up turning on Peter. He's in league with the crime boss, Norman Osborn. And yeah, and if you haven't read that, I don't know if they have a collection of it or not. Haven't seen it. I haven't read it since it came out back in 2009. But Spider-Man Noir has also been in the movie Edge of the Spider-Verse, or Into the Spider-Verse, and he was also in a few of the old Xbox 360 games. I think Shattered Dimensions, I think, was the one that he was in, where you got to play entire levels as Noir Peter Parker. Now, I'm very stoked that they're going to be doing this because I am a big Noir fan. I love Noir films, Noir comics, literature, anything to do with like 1930s, 1940s era, mafia, that kind of stuff. So I think this is going to be a great show, provided they don't try to overdo it. You know, like a lot of times happens. But I also wonder too, are they going to keep the character as Peter Parker, or are they going to change him? Is he going to be somebody new? I would like to see them kind of maybe create a new character that's not Peter Parker. I'm not saying that I hate Peter, but I think it would be pretty cool if you gave Spider-Man Noir a different name. He could still retain the same attitude, personality as Peter, but maybe like Ben Reilly, you know, Scarlet Spider, the new Spider-Man from '96, from the Clone Saga that everybody hated. That, you know, Ben Reilly, that would be a great, you know, name for the live-action Spider-Man. But I have the article. I'll pull it up for you guys real quick and we'll read it. Spider-Man Noir live-action TV show reportedly coming to Prime Video. And that is our boy right there. And what's cool is these goggles. If you read the comics, if you can find them, which you probably can, those were actually his Uncle Ben's goggles that he wore in World War I. So he wears them in the story kind of as a tribute to his Uncle Ben, which I always found that little touch, you know, that made you care more for the character, just those little things. So it says, it seems like there's a never-ending stream of superhero shows in the works, and you can add another possible series to the list. According to a report from Variety, Amazon has greenlit a live-action TV series based on the Spider-Man Noir comics. I say based on, because apparently Peter Parker won't be the main character. Yes! See, I didn't know that. I haven't read this ahead of time, but they answered my question. And I'm glad. You're giving the character a different name. I just want it to stand on its own. Instead, this show is set to follow an older, grizzled superhero in 1930s New York City. Oh, so they're making him older in this one. It'll be in its own universe, which isn't hugely surprising, but I still can't get over the fact it's not centered around Peter Parker. Why not? It doesn't necessarily mean Parker won't appear, just that the original and most well-known Spider-Man won't be the center of attention. I don't see what the problem is with that. The thing to remember about this show is it's a Sony property rather than one made by Marvel Studios, so this will not be related to the MCU and won't feature any characters that aren't tangibly related to Spider-Man due to rights issues, which I thought Disney and Sony had that worked out. So, who is this new Spider-Man? So the question is, who is the grizzled older superhero? If it's not Peter Parker, we'd hope that it's some variant of Spider-Man, but Sony has shown time and again that it's willing to try and forego that connection for one reason or another. It's not like Sony is short on options. And its character rights reportedly include over 900 different characters, but Peter Parker's Spider-Man is popular for a reason, and it makes little sense why you wouldn't focus on that iteration of the character, especially if you're already mixing things up by setting your show in the Noir universe. It's not as though the viewing public would be unfamiliar with the character anyway. Spider-Man Noir was a key character in 2018's Into the Spider-Verse, played by Nicolas Cage. While the character is reportedly not in Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Noir has shown up in other Spider-Man TV shows and video games over the years. Then again, this is a studio that's making an increasing number of Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man, so who knows what's going on behind the scenes. From the man that brought you Mortal Kombat, we don't know when the Spider-Man Noir series will debut, only that Oren Uzel is reportedly developing the show and will serve as both writer and executive producer. Uzel has a mixed resume with credits on 22 Jump Street, The Lost City, and 2021's Mortal Kombat, and The Cloverfield Paradox. He also worked on scripts for John Wick 4 and the upcoming adaptation of Borderlands. Into the Spider-Verse directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller will also serve as executive producers alongside Amy Pascal, former Sony head of Sony Pictures and producer on Spider-Man movies since 2017. Silk, Spider Society, is also coming to Amazon Prime Video in the future under showrunner Angela Kang. But like Spider-Man Noir, there's no word on when that might be the case. So I don't see what the big problem is with it not being Peter Parker. I don't mind it. I mean, I get it. Some people might not, it might turn some people off because everybody's really familiar with Peter. I get it. I understand. And familiarity always plays a key in people having vested interest in something. But to take this character who has a lot of story out there, comics out there, appearances in other films and TV shows and video games, but he's not established. Get what I'm saying? So now he's got a show that's going to be focused entirely on him. So why not give him his own persona, a different name, and make him his own character, not just a reskin of Peter Parker, which has been done to death. I have no problem with this because you may just create a character that might take off even more and become even more popular than it already is. I mean, Spider-Man Noir was the most popular character that came out of that Noir story arc that Marvel had back in 2009. He's the one that has endured over the past 14 years, but I think with this show and you giving him his own persona away from Peter Parker will give, I can only see good things coming from it. That's just my personal opinion. But guys, you all let me know down here in the comments below, how do you feel? Do you feel that it should still be Peter Parker? Or do you agree with me and think, hey, give him, his own character, his own name, his own kind of backstory, and so on and so forth? And also, while you're at it, could y'all please hit that little subscribe button down there? Maybe give us a thumbs up and hot duking that notification bell. And as always, it's been your buddy John, and I will see you again next time. Ooh.